Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of NFL Election. Today we'll be doing the AFC and NFC South teams and the top 4 teams with the most electoral votes. We'll move on to the next round. So this is the example spinner for Alaska, since we will be doing Alaska first, and the Falcons will win. So they will take the state of Alaska and its 3 electoral votes, and we will do this with every single state. This will be the last video of round 1, and shout out to the North episode for being the most viewed episode. If you want to make these yourself, go to yapms.com and let's get into the video. We start off with our first state, which is Alaska. Alaska will give 3 electoral votes, and those will be going to the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are on the board first with 3 electoral votes, but Hawaii is up next. Who will get it? And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will win the state of Hawaii. Now they pass the Saints by 1 electoral vote, but Washington has a huge number. And the Falcons will win the state of Washington. So now they pass both the Saints and the Buccaneers. All NFC South teams. Can the AFC South team step up? And they will. That was a very close one by the Houston Texans. They will win the state of Oregon and get 8 electoral votes. California, the biggest state in the game, coming out early, and the Buccaneers will be the winners. The Buccaneers winning a huge state in California now puts them at 58 votes. That is insane. They have basically already clinched the next round. The Falcons win the state of Nevada. Oh no, it's the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans pull away with one of the most clutchest wins I have seen. It doesn't matter who wins Idaho, but the Bucs win. The Houston Texans win a huge one in Nevada. That was so close. I don't think that could have even gotten any closer. Utah's up next. And the Jaguars will be getting their first state on the board in Utah. So we're already seeing some very intense action. Montana's up next. The Jaguars are trying to pull a 2 in a row, and they do. The Jaguars pull 2 in a row by winning Montana, and now they have 10 electoral votes in double digits already. Wyoming is up next. 3 teams still are not on the board, and the Titans will actually be getting their first point. So now there is only 2 teams that are not on the board. Arizona will be up next, 11 electoral votes. This will be a lot, and it will be going to the Buccaneers, who have already won California. That gives them a huge lead. They already have 73 points, and we're still on the first 15 states. Colorado is up next, and the Buccaneers win it again. They are on a roll here. They could be They could probably be at 270 by the end of this game. New Mexico is up next, and it will be going to a different winner, the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans will get 5 electoral votes. Now they're at 19, which is actually pretty good, but not compared to the Buccaneers. North Dakota is up next. It has gotten pretty intense pretty early, as the Titans now win North Dakota. The Titans get their second state on the board, but it wasn't very much, only 3 electoral votes. We head to South Dakota, which also has 3 electoral votes. Now we'll go to the New Orleans Saints, barely over the Carolina Panthers. The Saints get their second state on the board since Alaska. Nebraska at large is up next. This is the first of 4 for Nebraskan spins, and the Tennessee Titans, actually, that is close. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Buccaneers will win the state of Nebraska at large. That's only 2 electoral votes, but that's insane. That spin was closer than Nevada's, but the Buccaneers will be winning the first district too. 2 in a row for them. They've been doing pretty good. I know these spins don't offer many points, but this could be crucial for either making it or being eliminated. The Texans will win the second district. And the people that saw the East video probably know how crucial it is for the teams to have 1 more point. But District 3 will be going to the Indianapolis Colts, so they will get that 1 extra point. That could be crucial at the end of the game. Kansas is up next. Anybody could come out on top in Kansas, and the New Orleans Saints will win the state of Kansas. So the Saints they have been struggling, and they still are struggling, but they could win in Oklahoma. The Saints actually doubled their score by winning Kansas, and they will win the state of Oklahoma. That's 2 states in a row for the Saints. The Saints might actually be in the top 4 now, but we don't even know. Texas is huge, and now we'll be going to the Carolina Panthers, who will get their first state. That's my favorite team. We haven't been doing very good, but now we get on the board, and we're in the top 4. We go to the Vikings' home state in the state of Minnesota, which has 10 electoral votes, and the Indianapolis Colts will be winning the state of Minnesota. The Colts have only had 1 point this entire time that they got from a Nebraskan district. Right now, every team is still in it, as fourth place only has 19 points, but now they'll be having more as the Saints win the state of Iowa and get 6 electoral votes. The Saints will win Iowa, but we head to my home state currently, Missouri, and the Saints will win that too. The Saints have been going on a tear these past few spins. They've won 4 in the last 6. Arkansas is up next. Will we see a different winner this time? Let's find out. And we will. The Indianapolis Colts will win the state of Arkansas. Now we head to the Saints' home state, which they've actually been doing pretty good in these past few spins. Will they keep it up? They won't. And it will be the Buccaneers, the Saints' division rival, taking it from them. The Buccaneers may have been able to win the Saints' home state, but can they win the Packers? No, it'll be the Colts who win the Packers' home state. Wisconsin will help the Colts a lot. Now they'd move up to 27 electoral votes. Illinois has a huge chunk of votes. And the Colts maybe, oh no, it's the Jaguars. The Jaguars swipe the state away from the Colts, and they will be winning Illinois. Kentucky has 8 electoral votes that anybody can win, but it will be the Atlanta Falcons who come out on top barely over the Houston Texans. We have had so many close calls in this episode, and everybody seems to be in contention to win, and the Jaguars will win the state of Tennessee. The Titans have lost their own home state to a division rival in the Jaguars. Mississippi will be up next. The Titans really need to pick up the pace and catch up to everyone else. They're down by 14 points from 7th place, and they won't be doing it this time because the Jaguars will win the state of Mississippi. The Titans could have literally doubled their score with that one, but Michigan has 15 electoral votes, and now we'll be going to the Houston Texans over the New Orleans Saints. That was a close one. That actually helps the Texans overcome the Falcons and now tie the Saints. The Colts' home state is up next. And it looks like the Jaguars, but it could be the Bucs, and that is so close. I didn't even know who won, but it will be the Jaguars who will win the Colts' home state. These matches have been so close. Ohio has 17 electoral votes, and the Buccaneers will get revenge and win the state of Ohio. Aside from that, we move to the state of Alabama, which has the Birmingham Stallions, but they will not be in this series. If you want me to make a USFL election, I can do that too. And the Jaguars will win the state of Alabama. With this one, the Jaguars have basically sealed their spot into the second round as we head to Maine. The Texans and Saints are both tied for 4th place, but the Panthers haven't won a state since Texas, and that's their only state. But the Saints now go ahead of the Texans in winning Maine. The 1st district of Maine is up next. And the Panthers will win their 1st district, state, whatever you want to call it, since Texas, and they will only be getting 1 electoral vote, but that is huge. Now we just need the Titans to win one. The Saints will go back and win another one. The Saints are so lucky with how the wheel always lands on them, but they are so unlucky since all the states haven't really been that good, and they will be winning the state of New Hampshire as I say that. You can't make this stuff up. How have the Saints not overtaken the Panthers? And they have. They're in the top 4 now. That just goes to show you how if you win California or Texas, you're basically locked in for a while. But if you don't get enough states, you won't do good. And the Titans have won the 1st state since North Dakota. That is huge. And the Panthers will win the state of Massachusetts, passing the Saints again. The Panthers have finally realized that they need to step it up, and they will with Massachusetts. Rhode Island is up next. So much stuff is happening all at the same time, and the Saints will win another state, trying to come back at the Panthers with everything they have, even if it's these small gains. Now they are only 6 points behind the Panthers. And the Falcons have won the state of Connecticut. That is huge. They haven't won one since Kentucky, which I know is something. But, oops, that was an accident. Sorry about that. But now they get 7 more points. They really need to keep winning these states if they want to be in the top 4. And the Jaguars win the state of New York. That New York state has 28 votes. That will change the game for them. Now they have 94. They could catch up to the Buccaneers if they win the state of New Jersey. And they do. I don't know where this is going to go in the standings, but I think they might have caught him. No, they haven't. They're 3 points behind, but they could catch up to him if they win Pennsylvania. And the Colts will barely steal that from them. That was a close one. The Colts will win the state of Pennsylvania, and they really needed that. Now they're tied with the Saints at 46. And the Bucks will steal Delaware from the Jaguars, which isn't much compared to all these other states we've been spinning. But that is something for them trying to get away from the Jaguars, who are like 6 points behind them. And the Colts will win the state of Maryland. That'll help them get 10 more points. And now they are in the top 3, overtaking the Panthers, who only have 52. We spin to D.C., which is the United States capital, but it only has 3 electoral votes. And the Colts will go back-to-back. This is a major turnaround for the Colts. This proves why you always need to watch until the end, because your favorite team can still make it to the top 4. And the Panthers will win the state of West Virginia. I think the Panthers won the wrong Virginia if they were trying to pass the Colts, but any state will help them a lot. Now we head to Virginia, which has 13 electoral votes. And the Buccaneers will continue their lead and get 13 more points to that. So it's 127. The Panthers' home state is up next, and the Colts will actually be winning their home state. Now that's how you give someone a taste of their own medicine. The Colts literally just are beating the Panthers by winning their own home state. Sorry about that. And next up is South Carolina. I'm almost sure that the Colts have already clinched in their own spot. But the Buccaneers win the state of South Carolina, and they will be getting 9 electoral votes. The Buccaneers look like they will be passing a certain team from the East. Not to spoil it, go watch it yourselves. Georgia is up next. I almost put South Carolina in the wrong color. Don't worry, I fixed that. And the Tennessee Titans will be winning the state of Georgia. Sorry we did not get a spin on that. The Titans technically cannot win it, even if they do in Florida, because they'll only be 1 point behind the Panthers, which will not be enough to get in the top 4. The Buccaneers, Jaguars, and Colts have already clinched because there's only one more state. The Panthers are the only one that can get kicked out of the top 4 if either the Texans, Saints, or Falcons win it. I think we can say this is easily the most intense episode we've had. Here we go, though. Half of the teams fighting for one spot, and you know who I'm rooting for. Final spin of the day, and it will be the Atlanta Falcons will win, and they will beat the Panthers by 1 point. By 1 point, they will move on to the next round. I'm so sorry for all the yelling, but that is a great way to end the episode. Now we have our top 4. The Buccaneers, Jaguars, Colts, and Falcons advance, while the Panthers, Saints, Texans, and Titans will not. The points, the Buccaneers had 136 and the Texans had 25. The biggest state, obviously the California winner, was the actual winner of the entire thing, but the Bucs actually did good, but without California, the point differential, the Titans actually have a negative 111 point differential, and the placement is the same as the order. The Texans and Titans both had over 100 points away from the Buccaneers score of 136, which is really good, but couldn't beat the record. Shout out to the Jaguars for having the best second place score. Now this is every single eliminated team based on how many points they scored, and that will be how we decide 17th through 32nd. The Vikings are in last. The Bears are the best of all the eliminated teams. All the stats I will be collecting will be right here, so if you want to pause it, you can see what your team did and what your team failed in, how they could have done better and stuff like that. But for now, let's just give a shout out to the Saints, who actually had the most districts out of everybody, basically by a mile, with 10 for all the eliminated teams. Obviously, the teams that advanced had more, but the point differential is based on how far they were from the winning team score. Nobody won their home state, but the Commanders, even though they were 8th, finished in 25th. Now, these are the stats for all the advancing teams. So the winners are in the top 4, and the rest are just separated on how they did by points. The Browns had a negative 2 point differential from the winning team. Every single winner, except for the Steelers, actually won the state of California. All these teams will play again in future videos I should be doing really soon. There will be 2 second round matches and then 1 final round match. The Lions, even though they were in 4th, actually did way better than some of the 3rd places. And the Rams and the Bills won their home states, the only people in this entire game. The Patriots and the Buccaneers had the most districts and states out of everybody else. I hope you guys liked watching this video. If you did, please make sure to check out my other videos that I did on the series. And comment about any mistakes I made or how your favorite team did. We're on to round 2.